So, lady and gent, how you guys doing? This is your boy Chris coming back with another reptile video to help you guys raise your reptile in a best condition. So today I'm going to be answering one of the most frequent asked questions from you guys, which is the hey Chris, could you guess what my Leopard Gecko Morph is? And my answer to that question is I don't know. Reason why I'm saying this is because it's actually a lot complicated than what you actually think when it comes to finding out the morph for your leopard geckos. Because when you're actually guessing the morph, it's not gonna be accurate most of the time. If you're just making assumptions by the look visually, then I'm 100% sure that is not going to be accurate, because there are genetics that are hidden behind the gene. For example, cat, heterogeneous, those genetics don't really show onto them unless you create the visual recessive gene. It's a little bit complicated to hear and understand in a first person who's just getting into leopard geckos, but if you watch my previous videos, which I talk about albino genetics, WY, or I can't remember all the videos, but I have all the videos. If you come to my page, there is going to be a section, Leopard Gecko Morph 101, and if you just look into that, I pretty much gave out all the information for each morph, so you can pretty much learn from that videos. But yeah, the reason I'm taking this video is because I've been asked so many questions about guessing what their morph is, and I just don't have a really good answer for that questions because I honestly don't know what the genetic is. In order to find the Leopard Gecko Morph's genetics, you actually need to track down their parents, like for example their mom and their dad. And if you get the genetics information for their grandparents, like their grandmother and granddad, then those are going to be more accurate. But without knowing any of those informations, I honestly don't have the answer to what to say, because I can definitely make assumptions by the look, but if I accidentally give you a misinformation by just making assumptions, that's just not going to be good for me and good for you either. So that's why I try not to say and answer those type of questions if I don't know who their parents is or if they're not part of my project, because I honestly can't find any way to find out what the genetic is. So that is why I always reach out to my customers, my clients, and telling them in order to find your most accurate genetic information, you will actually need to go to the breeder who you bought it from, or you got it from. If you got it for adoptions, unfortunately that will consider as a pet leopard geckos, because at that point, if the owner doesn't give you all the information about them, like their parents, then that will just consider as a pet leopard gecko, and I'll just label that as pet. But if you want to find out the morph, I highly recommend watching my previous videos. I have a lot of videos with a lot of examples to show you what the morph is, so I will recommend watching that video to answer that question. It's just not going to be accurate when you don't have any information for their parents. So make sure you reach out to the breeder first, or the person who you got it from, and if they don't have the leopard gecko morph, then it's just going to be the pet quality leopard gecko. And that is the one main reason why I always go for someone who could be trustful, like reputable breeders who actually track down all the genetics, because they're the only one who will be able to give you the right information. And if you're thinking about doing a project and if you are not sure what the genetic is, it's gonna ruin whole entire project for you in the next couple of years. So that's why I don't really recommend doing a project with the pet qualities, because you just don't know what kind of genetics will pop off later at the end, and that's just not going to make you happy, because the breeding season comes only one time per year. And if you, for example, if there's a hatch genes that you didn't recognize from your hatchlings, that hatchling can actually produce a visual recessive genes when those hatchlings are paired together, and later at the end on the third year you will see weird genetic popping off everywhere, and at that point you pretty much ruin the whole entire project that you have been working for 3 years. So yeah, it's just not going to be a real good experience when it comes to that point. That's why I always recommend getting it from someone who you could trust and has all the information about your geckos. But hope this answers your questions, and I hope I could help. But that is the reality, and that is the real fact for when it comes to finding out the leopard gecko morph. So make sure you reach out to your breeder first and find the information from them. So I think there will be people who might still not understand what I mean, so I brought two geckos with me today. Right here, focus my geckos. This is male, and this is also male too, but they basically look exactly the same. Could you guess what their morph is and what the difference is? You probably can't, because I also can't tell their morph unless I know their parents. And let me give you a little bit of information about them. They're both blood tangerine, but this one is non-het, which means it only carries the polygenetic traits, blood tangerine. And this one right here has heterogeneous, which is also called hat trample albino. Those are recessive genes, and recessive genes, if they're hat, they don't show on their body until they become visual recessive. So although they look exactly the same, unless you pair them with another hat tramper or just trample albino, visual trample albino, you won't be able to tell. And let me give you guys a look for their eyes. Their eyes are exactly the same. And if they have a tramper albino eye, then their eyes should be white and some red veins. But because they don't have a visual tramper, this one doesn't, this one has a hat, you just can't tell what the gene will be. So hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, make sure you hit that like. And if you got a value out of this video, make sure you subscribe, because I do post a lot of videos. I try to post them every week, but because of a lot of things going on right now, we are working on a lot of things with the factories and trying to create all these amazing products. You see the product right here? That is the triple dash that we are releasing, and we are actually going to be producing a lot of different colors. I'm working super hard for that, barely getting any sleep for it, but at the end of the day, if I can make your geckos happy, I'm also happy, and also my geckos are happy with me. So hopefully everyone's doing well, and I want to thank you guys again for watching my video until now. And if you have any questions, make sure you write a comment down below. I read every single of your comments and reply, so don't feel hesitate to ask any questions. I love to help answer any of your questions if there's anything that I can help answer your questions. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Gecko!